when I injured my back and had to stop playing the tour back in 1988, I had put an event together at Walt Disney World involving tour players and the best bass fishermen in the world called the Humminbird Bass and Golf Celebrity Classic.
Okay.
And we produced it as a 1-hour special for ESPN, and it was hugely successful. Disney loved it, ESPN loved it, and so with my back injury, it was apparent that I was not going to really be able to compete for at least another year or maybe longer. I didn't have surgery. I had surgeons that recommended against it because of the nature of the injury.
Okay.
And so I was going to be in for a while before I could compete, so I started a production company. And that was the first event we did. And we added events at Disney over the next 10 years that we produced for ESPN and TNN. And then we started a fishing series in 1997 that was on TNN. And fishing series, weekly series. And one more cast was Shaw Grigsby, and we were on for 20 years. But I had an underwater cameraman, Robert Ives. He was the best in the country, and he had a bad back. Always kind of hunched over, you know, always sort of in pain, took a lot of pain pills a month just so he could work. And so in 2016, I closed my company down. Shaw was just ready to sort of get away from all the responsibilities he had. He was still fishing competitively in the tournaments, producing the fishing, you know, I mean, it's a lot of days, 45 or 50 days a year to produce our 13 episodes that he would have to be away as well. So he was just ready to step away.
Yeah.
So I closed the company down. So I don't see, Robert Ives was our underwater guy. I don't see him for several months. He calls me, wants to come up and pick up a housing from me, so I meet him in Jacksonville. And I immediately notice when I walk in that he's lost 20 or 25 pounds. He's standing up nice and tall, looks better than I've ever seen him look. And so I'm like, Robert, closing the company down was the best thing that ever happened to you, right? I've never seen you look this good. He said, you won't believe what happened to me. And I said, okay, let's hear it. So his wife, Dana, was I'll call her an outdoor girl. You know, she loved horses. She rode. I think she competed when she was younger. And so she had a good friend who was a veterinarian in Orlando here. And he had been using MagnaWave machines on his animals in his practice, and found out that they'd been using it for quite a while to treat people. And so she said, you need to bring Robert down and let me treat him. And she had fibromyalgia that she took pain medication for. And let me treat both of you and let's see if it makes a difference. So they spent a week with him, and after the week, felt so much better, they bought a machine. Went through the training, started treating themselves. 45 days later, they're both off pain medication completely. Now, Robert goes from taking 100+ pain pills a month to nothing.
Wow.
And he's back doing everything he ever did. You know, he's not in pain. He had a bone-on-bone knee that they'd been after him for 3 or 4 years to replace, and he just didn't want to do it. It doesn't hurt anymore.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, I know you're being honest with me because I've known you 25 years, and I can see that you're obviously feeling a lot better than I've ever seen you. So he got me the information on it, and I got it to my longtime family doctor, Dr. Dwayne Bork in Jacksonville, who was a highly respected doc. He researched it for a couple of weeks and he called me and he said, well, this is legit. He said, we need to do something with this. What can we do? So he said, I've got several patients every week that could use this. So we called Dana, Robert's wife, and said, would you come up on Friday afternoons to Jacksonville if we have 6 or 8 patients for you to treat? She said, sure. Wow. So she came up every Friday for 3 months. We treated Dr. Bork's patients. We had a 100% success rate at the end of 3 months. 100%. Everybody that got treated had some level of improvement. Some dramatic, some not so dramatic, but everybody had improvement. So he's like, well, we got to do something with this. I said, well, I've shut my company down. I'm not doing anything but hitting golf balls, playing my guitar, right? Biding my time. I'll buy a machine. So I bought MagnaWave Max,
Okay.
and we started treating his patients. And during the course of all that, I treated a couple of doctors. One who we were able to avoid having surgery. He had torn a meniscus, was on a cane and a big brace, and 3 times a week we treated him, and 4 weeks later he's back on the golf course with no surgery. So now he wants to be at his office once a week treating people. So I ended up going over there on Tuesday mornings, and so then he retired. Both of them retired, closed their practices down. And so I haven't really tried to push it over these years. I didn't want to spend 40 hours a week doing it, but I've just let word of mouth sort of send people to me, which it has, and I've now done almost 7,000 treatments since 2017, January.
Wow.
And it's mostly word of mouth. You know, people hear about it from somebody that's already gotten treated. But it's been great fun. It's been very interesting seeing all the different maladies and conditions that people have that I really never knew existed.
Wow.
And so it's been a lot of fun.
That's so cool.
But now, with the FDA clearance, the new machines, you know, everything is really ready to roll, and so we've got some exciting things, you know, happening and in the works. So it's going to be a lot of fun, I think.
That's very cool.